Hello everybody, this is Brian with the Instructional Technology Coordinator team, and today we're going to dig into GarageBand. In this video we're going to just look at some basic setup for simple audio recording, and so we're going to dive right into it. We're going to start with our icon, GarageBand. Now whenever you come into GarageBand, if you've been in there before it may take you to previous songs, but if it's your first time in GarageBand, it may take you to a screen that looks more like this. When you get to a screen that looks more like this to get started and begin a new song, all we need to do is click the plus button in the upper left. This will take you to your instruments. Now, as you flip through the instruments, you can see that there's a little gray box on some of the instruments. In the free version from Apple, which is what the district purchases for students and staff, some of the instruments are an in-app upgrade, and it's things like the smart keyboard and the smart bass. But for basic audio recording, that's not a big deal. You still have access to tools like the smart guitar, the keyboard, drums. But what we need for this and for most of our audio recordings is simply the microphone or the audio recorder. So we're going to go ahead and tap on that. Now, the setups that I'm going to show you, there are really three different things you want to turn on in your GarageBand setup. One of them is something you'll turn on once and you'll be done with. So in the upper right hand corner, you're going to click on the wrench. This is where your settings are. And down here you see run in background. So one of the neat features of GarageBand is that I can flip between different apps while GarageBand is recording. This is great if you've written a script on, let's say, the Notes app in your iPad, and you want to start the recording and jump over and read through the scripts. It allows the user to do both at the same time. But you need to turn on run in background. So right here where my mouse is, you're going to go ahead and click the off button. You'll pop into this special screen here, and all you need to do is slide the slider over this way. Go ahead and click OK. And now that's turned on, and that will stay turned on. Next, I'm going to tap the wrench icon again and again. The next two settings that we make whenever we set up a GarageBand file will have to be made every time you come into a song or a new instrument. It is the metronome and the count in. So if I were to leave these on, and I'll just show you what, you would hear this sound. Might be a little hard to hear, but you can see there at the very beginning, there's this green sound being made. That's the metronome playing. That's for musicians to keep time. But for audio recording, it actually gets in the way. So what we want to do is get rid of that. So I'm going to click this off, and I'm going to re-record. So I've got my playhead set where I am. Up here with the wrench icon, what I'm going to do is turn off the metronome. And count in is 4 metronome beats before it begins recording. So, you know, it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the record button turns on. That's your choice, but I usually turn that off as well because all of those sorts of mistakes that someone can make right at the beginning can be edited out. So I typically turn those two off, but it's important to know that you have to do that every time you come into a new instrument or a new song. The last thing I do deals with time. Now, if you know that you have a specific time that your recording should be, that's fine. But for the sake of just the recording, what we like to do is we like to make our timeline or our projects as long as they need to be. And I do that by clicking the plus button. Now here where it says Section A, I tap on it and I switch it from the white to turn it on, and now it's automatic. This is going to let me record as long as I need to, as opposed to a predetermined amount of time. Now, as I said, for some projects you may want to leave that on, or you may want to have specific snippets, but for most general uses and non-musical uses, you want to turn on an automatic section length and record as long as you need to. And so basically that's it. That gets you through the basic setup of GarageBand. And those last three that I just showed you will have to be done every time. Thanks, and as always, if you have questions, feel free to email us.